Dan Hurley opens his story with an assertion that frames his identity. "I'm from Jersey City." It's the phrase that explains everything about who he is, his drive, his attitude, his temper, his humor, and even his flaws. For Hurley, that rough-edged, blue-collar heritage is both armor and explanation. It defines him so deeply that when he finds himself at one of the most surreal moments of his life, sitting aboard a luxurious private jet chartered by the Los Angeles Lakers, it feels like an out-of-body experience. He's not supposed to be here, he thinks. Jersey City guys don't belong in Hollywood stories. It's June 2024 and Hurley is en route with his wife Andrea and their two sons Danny and Andrew to Los Angeles. The Lakers, arguably the most glamorous franchise in all of sports, want to hire him as their next head coach. For Hurley, the self-described high school coach masquerading as a college coach, this is an unimaginable opportunity. As he sips champagne in a leather seat, he can't help but remember that only years ago, he was broke enough to beg strangers for gas money at a New Jersey service station. The absurd contrast, panhandling to private jets, feels almost cosmic. And yet, amid the disbelief, there's a creeping question: is this really who I am? Hurley has built an empire at the University of Connecticut. 2 straight NCAA men's basketball championships, dominant, historic, relentless performances that have placed him in the company of coaching legends. He's not just winning games, he's shaping men. He relishes his dual role as teacher and motivator, the emotional core of his players' development. At UConn, his players adore him, the fans adore him. He's carved a perfect professional home. So why does this offer from the Lakers feel both intoxicating and terrifying? Partly it's validation. Hurley's coaching style, fiery, emotional, combative, has always drawn criticism. Commentators and fans have called him too volatile, too demonstrative, too Jersey. The media often paints him as a caricature of intensity, and that constant criticism has begun to eat at him. The Lakers' interest then feels like sweet redemption, a cosmic middle finger to the doubters. They see him not as a hothead but as a visionary. For once, he's the talent being recruited. Still, beneath the thrill, Hurley senses the enormity of what's at stake. The NBA isn't college basketball. It's a players' league where coaches are often ornamental, restricted by strict practice limits and superstar egos. How much real teaching could he do there? How much of himself, his demanding, developmental, no-excuses style would survive? These questions swirl as the plane climbs past Manhattan, and Hurley feels his stomach churn with anxiety. The further he flies from Jersey City, the more alien he feels. "I'm a ham and egger," he reminds himself, a son of a probation officer and a high school coach. A guy who used to make 50 grand at St. Benedict's Prep in Newark and thought that was heaven. The thought that he's being courted by the Los Angeles Lakers, offered an NBA job worth tens of millions, makes him both proud and suspicious. He feels imposter syndrome creeping in and then angrily beats it back. The haters, the failures, the grind, they've made him who he is. They've made him good enough for the Lakers. By the time the Hurleys land in Los Angeles, the emotions are running high. His older son Danny Jr., a political aide in New Jersey, thinks the trip is a mistake. UConn is home, he can't imagine leaving the East Coast. His younger son Andrew, who plays for UConn, sees the sunny upside, beaches, surfing, California life. Andrea, to Dan's surprise, is torn. The self-proclaimed ultimate Jersey girl has always resisted moving, but she feels strangely open to an adventure. Maybe, she says, it's time for a new chapter. When they arrive, the Lakers roll out the red carpet. A sleek black car, a suite at Shutters on the beach in Santa Monica filled with golden yellow roses, luxury at every turn. Even Andrea begins to melt. Dan tries to ground himself with meditation, but his mind is spinning. At the hotel gym, a UConn alum spots him and blurts, "Are you here to meet with the Lakers?" The question, though obvious, rattles him. He's not ready for the world to know. The next day, the Lakers brass, Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka, give him the full court press. They promise freedom, support, resources, and power, input on personnel decisions, control over his staff, and the chance to shape a championship culture. They believe he's the man to rebuild the Lakers' soul, to restore discipline and edge to a brand that's become too star-driven. As they tour the practice facility and its shrine of legends, Magic, Kareem, Kobe, Hurley feels the weight of history pressing down. Standing before LeBron James's locker, he asks himself the ultimate question: could he really coach this kind of player? Could he hold LeBron or Anthony Davis accountable the same way he holds his college kids? After all, NBA stars live by their own rules. Then he hears his own answer: yes, he could, he would. At lunch with the Buss family, the deal starts to feel real. The meal, prepared by a private chef, 6 decadent courses, pushes Andrea over the emotional edge. She begins to cry, overwhelmed by the beauty and generosity of it all. For a moment, it feels like they're already gone, already in Los Angeles. Jeannie and Rob charm the family completely. Their wives bond over philanthropy, travel, and motherhood. Andrea's walls start to come down. Then Hurley's agent texts him the numbers: 6 years, $70 million. It's staggering. Even Andrea's resolve wavers, who could turn that down. By the time they fly home, the entire family, even the skeptical Danny Jr., seems on board. The move feels inevitable. But the universe isn't done testing him. That night they attend a Billy Joel concert at Madison Square Garden, home turf, surrounded by both UConn and Lakers fans shouting conflicting chants. Stay, go. It's supposed to be a night off, but instead it magnifies his inner chaos. When a friend posts a video of him wearing a New York shirt, the internet explodes with speculation that he's staying put. Hurley insists it means nothing, but something inside him shifts. The next morning, both he and Andrea wake up with the same uneasy feeling. Maybe they can't leave. Maybe the East Coast, with all its grit and history, is too deeply rooted in them to be uprooted now. They spend the entire Sunday agonizing: yard work, grocery shopping, dinner, all the while listing pros and cons. The offers are massive. UConn has countered with $50 million over 6 years. The governor of Connecticut calls to beg him to stay. Restaurants promise free food for life. Fans bombard him with love and pleas. The entire state seems to be holding its breath. But Hurley doesn't want money or glory to drive the decision. He wants clarity, purpose. Where can he do the most good? Where can he be the truest version of himself? He imagines telling his players he's leaving, especially Alex Karabin, who passed on the NBA draft just to return for a chance to make history with him. I came back for you, coach. How could Hurley walk away from that, from the shot at a three-peat, from legacy? He calls mentors and family for advice. Father Ed, his old boss from St. Benedict's, gives blunt counsel. You'll lose more with the Lakers than you ever did at UConn. And if you're miserable, Andrea will be miserable. His father, on the other hand, urges him to go, claiming he had a vision in the shower that this is destiny. Hurley's phone overheats from the flood of opinions. Late that night, he lies face down on the kitchen floor in despair. Andrea sits beside him. Tell me what to do, he pleads. Let's go, she says. Let's just go, you can always come back. For a moment, it feels settled until his phone buzzes again. It's LeBron James. Hurley assumes it's a prank, but it's real. LeBron himself texts to wish him luck with his decision, saying he's a fan of Hurley's work and approach to the game. The message shatters Hurley's composure. LeBron James, the face of basketball, is personally recruiting him. Hurley texts back, confessing his conflict. How hard it is to leave UConn, but how hard it is to turn down the chance to coach a player like LeBron. The weight of that choice crushes him. Andrea begins packing up mementos from their latest championship, half joking, half serious. Should I box this for Los Angeles? She asks. He can only reply, I don't know. Before bed, they decide to settle it once and for all. They'll each text one word, stay or go. They count to 3 and send. Both phones read the same, stay. Relief floods them both. They smile, finally aligned. Just to be sure, they repeat the ritual in the morning. Again, stay, that's it, decision made. Hurley calls the Lakers to decline the offer, and soon after, the news breaks. UConn fans rejoice. The state of Connecticut treats it like a national victory. Texts and messages pour in from every corner of his world. Gratitude and love surround him, but he knows that the choice wasn't his alone. It was made by an entire community, by every voice that shaped him, living and dead. And then, he remembers one more voice, the one that sealed it. After the Billy Joel concert, a woman had tapped him on the shoulder. Courtney Lynch from Jersey City, his old neighborhood. They hadn't seen each other in decades. She smiled, they hugged, reminisced briefly. As he turned to leave, she stopped him. Danny, she said, you're from Jersey City, you can't go to Los Angeles. Hurley, surprised, asked with his eyes, why not? She looked at him the way only someone from Jersey could, with recognition, with truth. Then she said the line that echoes through the entire story, the line that defines Dan Hurley's sense of self more than any contract ever could. You ain't Hollywood, bro. In that moment, he understood everything. The luxury, the fame, the money, the glamour, they were never what drove him. He's not a Hollywood coach. He's a Jersey City guy built on grit, community, and loyalty. The Lakers might have been the dream job on paper, but UConn and the ethos of where he came from is his soul's home.